My name is Jeffrey Bracken from Ghana. I love this trip a lot because I was able to learn lots of stuff from other people from other countries. At least I can now speak a little of Dutch, also know a little about the culture of the people from Tobago. I'll be missing everyone who came for this trip and the moments I shall never forget about, like the times I spent with Casti, having chats with her, all those stuff I can't forget about it. Like, I like everything about the trip.
Okay, tell me or show me one thing that you've learned.
Okay, I can say something in Dutch, like ook aardig. Which means how are you? Ik hou van je, I love you. Having other words which I can, at least if they communicate to me, I would understand.
Okay. If you could relive one moment, which moment would you relive?
As I said, the times I spent in Ghana.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Okay, and what did you like the most?
I like the game. The game that was teaching, that you guys taught us is what I like the most.
Okay, great. Okay, and what will you miss when you leave?
I'll miss you all.
Miss us. Okay.
Miss you all.
All right. Tell me one or show me one thing that you've learnt while on this program.
To be togetherness and a lot. I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, if you could do one thing again that you really liked, what would it be?
To be the game.
The games.
Yeah, the games.
All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Tell me one thing that you liked whilst on this program.
I liked was during our workshop time.
Okay. What one thing would you miss?
The times we shared together when we were free.
When we're free. Okay. One thing that you've learned.
Okay, I've learned to talk in public because I was a shy type, but because of this program, it has helped me a lot to talk to other people also in public.
Okay, that's good. Okay, and if you could travel back in time to one moment, which moment would that be? Like whilst on this program?
Is it the place or is it the place?
Not a place, or just a moment. So like something that you really enjoyed. If you could do it again, what would it be?
Yeah, that's what I said. The times we share together when we have input.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jemima.
My name is Gabriel Finn.
Okay, and what did you like the most?
Oh, the one thing I learned from this trip was that I was like a shy person, and also like it was difficult for me to go through in front of people and also speak to them. But because of this trip, I've learned something more from people, and it has given me the confidence to go forward and speak to those people whom I don't know, and also like.
That's good. Okay, so what will you miss?
Yeah, like I'll miss you guys because you are lovely and also respectful and also kindness and also you have passion for people. Yeah, so I also miss you a lot.
Okay, tell me one thing that you've learnt on this program.
Like I've learned about some of the countries' culture, like the Tobago culture and also UK's people. Yeah, I've learned something about it. And also,
okay, if you could go back in time and relive one moment while on this program, which moment would that be?
On this trip, yeah, like I would like to improve I would like to also make more improvement of this trip.
Okay.
And also I will just make her to also learn something more from different people. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Say that again.
Mary Paul. And I like everything, the way everything was arranged. I like everything. I like everything.
What thing would you miss?
Okay. To me, I'll miss everybody, and I'll miss the way we go to the parties and we go to the club and those things. Because I've never been there before, so I like it. I would like to go there again.
Okay, so tell me one thing that you've learned.
Oh, I learned about culture and I learned about our culture and different cultures too. I learned.
If you could do one thing again that you really enjoyed, what would that be?
I like the pastoral group, the pastoral.
The workshops, the pastoral. Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Because that's where that I get my encouragement from.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Charles Nyantishi.
Okay. And what did you like about this program?
I like it because it has helped me to build confidence, be able to speak in public. Because at first I was the kind of shy type, always close to myself, and I don't come out of my comfort zone.
Okay. And what will you miss?
I think the Tobago people, their cultural display that they did.
Okay. If you could show me or tell me one thing that you've learnt whilst on the program.
I have learned to be patient, I have learned how to interact with people better, I have learned good communication skills, and yeah.
Right, good. And if you could travel back in time to relive one moment, which moment would that be?
The moment where we were watching the video about the front room.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Charles.
You're welcome.
Benjamin Furiata.
Okay. And what did you like the most?
I think I love our trip at the theater.
Theatre. Okay. Okay. What will you miss the most?
I'll miss you people, everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me or show me one thing that you've learnt.
Oh, I know how to deal with different kind of people, different countries.
Okay. All right. And if you could go back in time to one moment whilst on this program, which moment would that be?
Be a good leader.
Being a good
Be a
leader.
good leader, yeah. How to lead my people.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Welcome.
Hello. So I'll ask you now. So, what's your name?
My name is Godwin Furiata.
And tell me one thing that you liked about this program.
One thing I liked is coming together with most African countries in diaspora represented, and the fact that we learn about other culture, and having realized that after all, we are just one people, only scattered in different continents.
Okay, one thing that you will miss.
What I really miss is you going back. Actually, your departure will mean that I really miss you. Yeah, but I hope that one day we'll reconnect and you come back.
Most definitely. Okay, one thing that you've learnt.
I learned how to get along with people from different places, because even though we come from African descent, we've been brought up in different cultures and different traditions and different type of rules and regulations, and so our attitude, behavior may change. And when coming together initially, you will have to learn to understand one another, and then learn also to get along with one another. So what I've really learned is how to get along with other people.
Okay. Yeah. And tell me one moment that you really enjoyed that you would do again if you could travel back in time.
What I will really do again is coming together at all the time and sharing our ideas and experiences. And in fact, talking about our other things, I don't know how to express this, but what I really wish I could do again is the opportunity for us to come together, work on one specific project, very focused project, for it to be a landmark to say that, well, this is what we have really done. Like the project in the school, the painting, the artwork, that anybody from all over the world, if anybody comes, you can tell the person, this is what I did when I was in Ghana. So I wish we can have a landmark experience like that.
All right, thank you very much, Gordon.
My name is Mana S.
Okay, and what did you like?
I liked country and the weather and the new people that I met.
And what one thing would you miss? Will you miss?
I think the group, because there are different personalities there, and I like everyone.
One thing that you've learned?
Wow, well, it's a lot, so I have to choose one. How to work with people with different cultures and different backgrounds and make it to one theater show.
And if you could travel back in time to one moment and redo it, what moment would that be?
The last day at our placement with the kids when we had a dance competition.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. What's your name?
Jalisa.
Okay, tell me one thing you liked about the Ghana program.
What I liked about the Ghana program is that I got to know a lot more about my history and that I got to know other people.
One thing that you'll miss now that we're leaving.
The people.
So the people from Ghana or
just
everybody?
From Ghana, from Tobago, from the UK, everybody.
Okay. One thing that you've learned?
One thing that I have learned is that there are very different cultures all over the world, but because of our African background, we all have similarities. So I got to know more about the similarities rather than the differences.
Okay, and if you could travel back in time to one moment that you really enjoyed and relive, which moment would that be?
It would be in the bus where everybody was singing Hallelujah. That would be my moment to really go back and relive.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Nyanga is my name.
Okay, tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip.
I really liked the fact that I met new people from different continents in the world, and yeah, really the head team of the project, searching for similarities between the different people. I thought that was very strong and very nice to do.
Okay. So one thing that you will miss.
I will miss one thing. That's hard because I will miss a lot of things, I think. But I'll miss the people, the weather, the children, but I think the most, the people on the streets who are selling stuff. So when you're traveling, you're in the car, we were in the bus, and like, oh, I think that I love some bananas. And you just look around and then you can buy some, so I really like it.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, one thing that you've learned.
I've learned to be patient, and because there were several times that we had to wait for each other, and sometimes that I didn't knew about about the planning schedule, and yeah, I learned to be patient in those moments.
And if you could travel back in time to one moment and relive it, which moment would that be?
First thing that came in my head was to go back to the school, the Unique Christian Phil in Kassel, where we did our presentation for all the children because they enjoyed so extremely. They were so, I don't know, you saw all those faces and they were quiet when they had to be and they were laughing, and yeah, it was very nice. Yeah, and they treated us as like stars after the presentation. Like, oh, can I make a picture with you? And yeah, so it was awesome.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Samora.
Okay, can you tell me one thing that you enjoyed about the Ghana experience?
One thing the small groups I've enjoyed because you get to know each other better, and you get to know more about the persons in your group. That's the thing I enjoy the most.
Okay. One thing that you'll miss now that we're leaving?
I'll miss everybody, actually. And it was nice to be with people who are from different countries, but they have the same background as you. Because in my country, the Netherlands, you don't have people like from other countries who like to talk about their diaspora or to say that they are African, the roots are from the African. And here I had that, so I could explain myself better. And yeah, that's the thing that I'm gonna miss.
What have you learned?
Oh, I've learned a lot about the African diaspora. I knew most of the things already, but I went to the Elmina Castle and the Cape Coast Castle, and the things about the town itself, that it was like Cape Coast, it was called Gold Coast, and I didn't know that kind of things. So yeah, the things of the African diaspora, I had more information of that.
And if you could travel back in time to one moment and do it again, which moment would you travel back to?
The day we arrived.
The day we arrived?
Yeah. The day in Casablanca that we all meet, and we were flying to Accra to meet the other group of Ghana. That was the most incredible moment because we've never seen each other before. And the day that we have seen each other, it was like, okay, we see new people, and everybody was excited, and that's the moment I would turn back in if I could.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Well,
okay, can you tell me your name?
Hi, I'm Dania.
Okay, and one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip?
I like the trips to Fort Elmina, Cape Coast, and like the museum about Pan-Africanism.
And one thing that you'll miss?
I will miss the climate.
The clubs?
The weather. Yeah, just the weather, because it was a perfect balance in, how do you say that, in moist?
Oh, the climate.
Yeah, it was not too dry, it was not too moist, so it was like in between, just cool.
Okay. One thing that you've learned?
I've learned that I'm African. Simple.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we united as Africa, we would be the most strongest continent of the world.
Definitely.
So let's hope.
Okay, if you could travel back in time to one moment that you've experienced here, which moment would you travel back to?
I had my own place on the rooftop of the hotel. So that moment was like the most peaceful moment in my entire life, I think. I was together with Samora at that moment, and we were just like realizing we were together in in Ghana, and we are always also neighbors. We know each other since like we were 2 or 3 years old. So only that moment was like something special.
Thank you very much, Anya.
My name is Minaini Alberto, and I'm from Holland.
Okay, tell me one thing you liked about the Ghana trip.
One thing I like is the connection with the people we made, the new people we met, and the information of Black history we shared together.
Okay. And one thing that you're going to miss.
One thing I'm going to miss is the mobile stores on their heads. I'm going to miss that because now I actually need to get out of the car, get out of a bus, and really go to a store.
One thing that you've learned.
One thing that I learned is that no matter where life takes you, you have to stay positive and stay focused, because even the children that didn't have a school, they just came to school and just view life in the positive side.
Okay. And one moment that you would do again.
One thing I would do again. Ooh.
That you really enjoyed, that you'd like to.
I really enjoy. Dance with the kids.
Dancing with the kids?
Sure, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Have a safe night.
Leah Goldman. And I like the workshop very well. It was important to me. And what was the second one?
Okay, so what will you miss?
What I miss? The group.
The group?
Yes. And I'm gonna miss the group.
The group?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the food.
Not the food.
Not the food, but the group.
Okay. One thing that you've learned.
It's okay, forget it. The thing I learned much, but it mostly. De bewustwording van de diaspora. The diaspora. Yes.
Okay. If there's one thing you could do again, like one moment that you could travel back to and relive, which moment would that be? During this trip?
Welk moment zou je nog een keer willen doen? Als je terug wil gaan in de tijd, wat zou je nog een keer willen doen?
Ik zou wel een workshop weer willen doen. I want to do a workshop again, and that is the ene met die paraplu, the one with the
creative one of the workshops you would like to do again. They make the umbrella. I think they want to steal our ID now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
It was very interesting. That workshop. Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. Can you tell me your name?
My name is John Lashman.
Okay. And could you tell me one thing that you really liked about the trip in Ghana?
It was my first experience in such an event, and I'm very happy that I was able to be part of it. And just being there was my best experience so far.
And what will you miss?
What I missed was not being there from the beginning of the whole project. I found that I missed just that 1 week was enough to be not to have a gap, but it was something that I found that I missed that one. Okay. And I would miss just the whole process of being how it works.
Okay. What have you learned?
What have I learned? I've learned, actually it's not something I learned, but something, it makes me more eager to do such a project like this one.
The one thing, at one moment that you would revisit and do again if you could?
My arrival the first day in the group. Love that. Warm welcome. It felt good right away.
Great. All right, thank you very much, John.
You're welcome.
My name is Aisha Martina.
Okay, could you tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip?
The experience of being with people from different countries. We sometimes have like new exchanges, but it's like bilateral, and this was a multilateral one, and also out of Europe. So that was a great experience to have that now and to learn from each other's culture.
we all were Africans in the diaspora, but still we had our differences, but also our similarities.
Okay. The one thing that you'll miss now that we're leaving?
I think it's cliche, but I will miss the group and being together, because we had major intensity, almost 3 weeks, like from early morning to late in the evening, and basically I'm gonna go home home by myself, so I'm gonna miss all of you. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. One thing that you've learned?
Learned, wow. To have patience. To have patience. I did have that, but still, every time you work with different people, you have to get to know them again, and everybody has their own peace of mind. So, as a leader, you have to have patience and try to lead your groups and stuff.
And if you could travel back in time to one moment, what moment would you travel back to?
Good question. For now, at this point, I don't know. So I think everything was good. Otherwise, I would travel back. So for now, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, and tell me one thing that you liked about the program.
I liked the volunteering aspect, interacting with the kids.
Okay, and tell me one thing you're going to miss.
I am going to miss teaching the kids and doing the dances. Yeah.
Okay. And if one thing that you've learnt while here?
I have learned that, well, from the Ghanaian people, they seem to be quite focused, and they make sure whatever they have to do, they make sure it is being done, as I would have observed them carrying stuff around on their head all over, just to make sure that everything is being done. I've learned to be strong, yeah, and to give it my all, be determined like them, be focused, yeah.
That's good. The last thing is, if you could travel back to one moment that you've experienced here that you really enjoyed, which moment would that be?
That would be moments on the bus where we sang, and to add to that moment or to mix that moment would be to go back in the classroom where I taught the students.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel.
My name is Kibon Nari. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, tell me one thing that you liked.
I liked the people a lot in this trip. Meeting new people, whether it was the Ghanaians, the Hollands, or the Londoners. It was all a good experience, meeting people.
One thing that you'll miss?
I will miss the placement groups. I was placed at the school, and I made a lot of friends at the school, so I'm going to miss the students the most.
One thing that you've learned?
I've learned that a lot of people share a lot of different views, and you need to learn to respect those views if you want to live in harmony and peace.
Okay, one moment that you'd revisit if you could?
I would revisit the placement group again. With the dance competition, we had a dance competition. That was good. I would love to do that again.
Alright, thank you very much. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Samantha Roberts from Tobago.
Tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana experience on this program.
Well, I liked meeting new people and learning about the different cultures from the different islands.
Okay, tell me one thing that you will miss now that you're leaving.
I will miss everybody.
Okay, one thing that you've learned.
Well, I learned that you must never take anything that you have for granted, because coming from Tobago, we have free education, free healthcare, and then coming to Ghana and seeing how the people have to hustle for one CD. So it really made me learn not to take what I have for granted.
Okay, one thing that you would, one moment during the exhibition, during the program that you really enjoyed and you would revisit if you could.
I really enjoyed seeing the expression on the children's faces after we did the presentation at the school. They really enjoyed it. Well, they enjoyed it a lot more than I think they would, and the expression on their face was priceless.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. One thing that you liked?
Theatre.
The theatre. One thing that you're going to miss?
Mary.
Mary. Okay. All right. One thing that you've learned? How to sort it? It's alright. It's alright. Okay, if you could revisit one moment whilst doing the Ghana program, which moment would you revisit? The school. Okay. That's grand. Thank you very much. Could you tell me your name?
Sulicia Jessamy.
Okay, could you tell me one thing that you really liked about the Ghana trip?
Working with the children.
And could you tell me one thing that you'll miss now that we've left?
Working with the children.
Okay. One thing that you've learnt?
To be thankful for the little I have, wherever I come from, and to appreciate everything in life.
And if you could travel back in time to one moment whilst in Ghana, what moment would you travel back to and re-experience?
Think with the children.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Pinky. What's your name?
My name is Keith Grant from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, and what did you like?
Well, most of all, I love just socializing with everyone from my brothers and sisters. So that's what I really like.
If you could just speak up a little bit more. So, what would you miss?
I will miss the people and the brothers and sisters who I've met.
What have you learned?
I learned that you will learn how to take time into consideration, because according to how it depends on what time is, you have to know how to use your time and manage your time.
Okay, one moment that you would do again, you would revisit.
I would love to revisit Cape Coast Castle. I will revisit Elmina Castle also, because it teaches a lot from our slavery days, our forefathers, and one of these days I hope to see them again.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Okay, what's your name?
Lennon Rance.
Okay, tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana program.
That I got to meet persons from different parts of the world, but who are all connected in that we share a similar history, similar food, similar language to some extent, and just similar ways of doing things.
Okay, and what thing will you miss?
About the Ghana X. I guess the camaraderie, we actually were able to bond together, and so now I think of all of them as my brothers and sisters.
Okay, one thing that you've learned while on this trip.
I've learned that, that at first you may look at the outside and you may think that we're different, but that if you take the time to have a conversation with any person, you would realize that our differences are usually only skin deep, but that at the heart of it, we are all one.
Okay, so one moment that you experienced while on this trip that you would revisit if you could?
Right, one moment. I think it would be when Mary said that because I challenged her to come out of her shy zone, to be more comfortable with other persons, and I actually saw her doing just that. And she is actually stating, that she was challenged and she took up the challenge. That made me feel, kind of good, that at least something I said, and she was just so steadfast and determined, and she did it right away.
Great. Thank you very much, Lenny. Tell me your name?
Regan Mendes.
Okay, can you tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip?
Working with the kids in a primary school. That was a big thing for me. Yeah.
Okay. One thing that you'll miss?
Working with the kids in the primary school. And just like the groups, like the Trinidad and Tobago group, the Holland group, and the Ghanaian group. It's just, I'm gonna miss that.
One thing that you've learned?
One thing I've learned. Well, I've learned a couple of things, but one that stood out is I've learned how to not just how to self-motivate myself, but because I've gained motivation from actually being here, one thing I learned about myself is that I can actually do more. I can actually do more than what I'm producing right now. And what I'm producing right now is nothing compared to what I have in store for myself when I go back to my working environment and my normal life.
Great. Okay, if you could travel back in time to one moment that you really enjoyed and do it again, which moment would you choose?
Travel back to my school on the last day of the working with the kids in Unique Christianville School. The last day, because on the last day we had a lot of things there. There was a lot of Christians. I was just trying to talk to them. I was trying to give them advice, even though it was a bit rushed. It was just the atmosphere at the time, and just like when I was talking, like all their faces were too focused. They were so focused. Like I don't know, man. Just having that kind of atmosphere. I would go back and do that part again, even if I'll do the whole session again, even slower this time.
Okay, great. Thank you, Regan. Your name?
My name is Mickey. I'm from London. And to ask the first question, one of the things I really enjoyed about the trip. Sorry, I forgot the question.
That's it. Well, I'll ask you the questions. Okay, tell me one thing that you liked about the trip.
Just the general travel coming to Ghana. It's my second time, so I get to experience a different side of Ghana.
Sorry, 1 second.
I feel that last time because I was on the border, so I was hold up, I really get to see the full side of Ghana.
Okay. One thing that you'll miss.
One thing I miss is the hospitality of the people. Everyone's so friendly and caring. Whereas London, you just get the culture from everyone.
One thing that you've learned?
One thing I've learned is to seriously be grateful for what I have. Because say for example, when we're on the bus and we see people literally sprint, just for one seat, down during traffic, and use dedication. I just take that.
All right. If you could travel back in time to one moment that you really enjoyed.
The club, yeah.
The club.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun at the club.
Okay, what club was that?
I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even remember what anything was. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Alright. Thanks a lot, Mickey. What's your name?
My name is Adrian Edwards. I'm from the London group. The thing I miss the most about the Ghana trip is that it's all the people and the nature, the nice people I meet, and just Ghana itself. Ghana very beautiful country. The thing that I learned is that I can admit the fact that I'm African, because before, when people ask me, you're African, it used to be a problem to me. So yeah, I think I learned that. But then still.
So one thing that you liked.
One thing I like the atmosphere and the placement.
And if you could travel back to one moment, what moment would you travel back to and relive?
If I could, the moment we went to Accra and we went out to clubs and yeah.
Nice one, Adrian. Thank you.
My name's Cassandra.
Okay, tell me one thing you liked about the Ghana trip.
I like the workshops and going to the Cape Coast Castle and Elmina Castle.
Alright, tell me one thing that you're going to miss now that we've left.
I'm going to miss the new Ghanaian people I met.
One thing that you've learnt.
I've learned that I need to be more patient and adapt more in a large group.
Okay, if you could travel back in time and re-experience one moment that you had there, which moment would you go back to?
I'll do the whole thing again.
The whole thing? Alright. Thank you, Cassie. So what's your name?
Ali Said.
Okay, now tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip.
My placement, working with the kids at Unique Christian Group.
Okay, and one thing that you're going to miss?
The group.
Okay, and one thing that you've learnt?
I've learned that everyone's still African, even if...
So if you could travel back in time, which moment would you travel back in time to?
Probably the first moment where I met everyone.
Okay, can you tell me your name?
My name is Barnaby.
Okay, can you tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip?
I like about the Ghana trip and the people that were there, they were really friendly and I had a good experience that I never had before and it gave me an opportunity to see how the people live in Ghana, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me one thing that you'll miss now that we've left?
I mean, when I was in Ghana, I was in socializing with the group. I miss that. If I had a good time, I don't know, I would socialize again. But I might do it for the next time.
Okay. Can you tell me one thing that you've learnt?
I've learned how I live in England and how the other young people live in Ghana. So that would help me to change when I go back to London how I live.
Okay. Okay, if you could travel back in time and relive one experience that you enjoyed there, which experience would you travel back to?
The school that I was working with the children. I really miss that.
Thank you very much, Valerie. That was great. My name is Drew Sinclair. I'm part of the London team. One thing that I liked about Ghana was I really enjoyed the workshops and the way that we all got really close, you know, just sharing things and just sharing our experiences and, you know, talking about our living spaces. I thought that was brilliant. One thing that I'm just going to miss being able to say hello to everybody. You know, everybody that I made eye contact with, I was able to just say, hey, say hello, say hi. And I really enjoyed that. Everybody was so warm and welcoming. That's one thing I'm going to miss. One thing that if I could travel back in time and relive one moment, I would travel back to the craft market. Even though the craft market was hectic and we had everybody kind of around us, I really enjoyed it because I got a really good deal with a drum and some other instruments, and I got to drum with some really good drummers, some master drummers, and I really appreciated that. That was great. Okay, one thing that I've learnt, okay, I've got this instrument. I don't even know what it's called, but they did tell me, but I can't remember now. But I learned how to play this instrument fairly well. So here goes. and I learned how to do this. Not so good. Okay, if you can see it, it goes all the way around and comes back. And that's quite a difficult move to learn, but I'm pretty good at it, I guess. So, yeah. And I learned this beat on the drum.
Tell me your name, please.
Michael McMillan.
Okay, can you tell me one thing that you liked about the Ghana trip?
Oh, there's so many things I liked about Ghana 14. I like the singing on the bus. I like the kind of, we had a tight bus. We had a long journeys to and from Accra and wherever. And I just love the kind of spontaneity of hand clapping, music, singing,
Okay, one thing that you'll miss now that we've left, or now that we're leaving.
I missed the 5-minute opening circle in the morning.
Okay. Okay, one thing that you've learned.
I knew it before, but one thing that is being reaffirmed is how different an individual we can be. Yeah, and with myself, learning when to be quiet, not to say anything, not to be listening. I knew that, I knew that already, but it's always reaffirmed for me in the process.
Okay, and if there's one moment during this trip that you could revisit, which moment would it be?
If there was one moment I could revisit during this trip, it would be this performance in the school on the Friday that the group had at being in that school and seeing the kind of delight and enthusiasm and ecstasy on the faces of those children that we performed. If I could revisit that.
That's great. Thank you very much, Michael.